Pete, great to have you on today to our warehouse series. Hope you're doing well, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. So, Pete, we're really excited to be talking to you today. So happy that we've found Chomps, and I've known about Chomps for a long time because we spend a lot of time focusing on products that are not only delicious but actually are made with clean ingredients. And that jerky space is you can find things on all ends of the spectrum. So I'll turn it over to you real quick, just so we can so our customers can hear about what is Chomps, how it's made, how it's different from the other jerkies out there, and why that's such a important thing for your brand and how you source and all that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Chomps is, if you haven't heard of Chomps, we're a better for you meat snack brand, and we focus only on meat sticks. So if you think about the Slim Jims that you probably have seen in the gas stations all over all over the country, we have made a better version of those. And so when we think about, what do we make better about those? It's the ingredients, And so then the biggest thing for us is sourcing. I mean, we take sourcing very, very seriously. And so there's three things that we think about. We call them the three pillars of sourcing. And so one of them is nutrition. The second one is the environment. And the third one's animal welfare. All of which are equally important to us. Okay. And so when you talk about nutrition, we're sourcing only grass-fed and grass-finished beef and venison, or free-range and antibiotic-free turkey. And then from an environmental standpoint, we're only sourcing from suppliers that are practicing regenerative agriculture. If you're not familiar with that, I feel like you should start. Actually, there's a couple cool movies that are out right now. One of them is called Kiss the Ground. And then the other one's called the Biggest Little Farm. And these are awesome educational videos, and they kind of put a lot of the science behind regenerative agriculture into layman's terms, so we can all understand it. And the last thing is animal welfare. All of our beef is certified humane. We want to make sure that all the animals that we're sourcing are living the best possible lives that they can. I mean, we all hear about the horror stories about animals being mistreated in the meat industry and the dairy industry, and we just want to do everything we possibly can to put an end to it. So the animals that we source are very happy cows, and it sounds cliche, but it's legit.
No, I love that, and I've never heard of a jerky brand actually having animal welfare in some of their values and principles as a company, and you wouldn't think about that. So that's cool to hear.
It probably sounds like like the opposite, right? Like you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. But in reality, it's, we see the animal protein is very important in diets. We truly believe that. And we see the value in it, but we want to be able to do this and deliver the products in the best possible way.
Yeah. And I mean, just to talk about the quality for a second, I mean, we specialize in specialty diets and allergies. And one thing that's been really cool about Chomps, not only that it tastes really good, but it falls into a lot of unique categories that we found that other jerkies don't, right? A lot of jerkies have added sugar in them, which kind of removes them from the keto diet space. They also have a lot of other added ingredients, just to make them taste good. So, which kind of removes them from the paleo and Whole30 diet space. And I think if I remember correctly, I believe your brand is keto, paleo, and Whole30.
All the above. Yeah.
Okay.
And non-GMO project verified and certified humane. Yeah. So we, it's kind of like overload of information. We have a lot of certifications. We get it. But the point being is that, we want to go above and beyond and create the best possible product. And we want to make sure we check the boxes for all customers. And it's really, it's paid off well for us, because we actually do, we're free of all eight allergens. And that's a big community, and so those people can actually enjoy Chomps without worrying about what's in them.
Yeah,
the no sugar.
We have a top 8 allergen box. I didn't even know that. So it's definitely something we can consider adding to that box too.
But yeah, so no sugar was a thing. We've been doing this for over 8.5 years now. We were doing it, I guess, really before the keto boom really took off. No sugar in the product was something that we would not compromise on. And so we were one of the first ones doing it. Now you're finding a lot of brands are able to do it, and which I think is great. It's competition, it's fine, but I feel like it's healthy competition. We're all kind of forcing each other to create better and better products for the consumer.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think sugar definitely has become the biggest villain in the food industry. So, but I think that's a good thing that people are moving away from sugar. So
Absolutely.
I want to kind of go in a different direction here. So I started Lonny James as a side hustle. I had a corporate job, I had expenses, student loan, things like that. So I always wanted to be an entrepreneur and kind of had to do it slowly. And I've heard you did it a similar way. And I thought it'd be great for our customers to know, what that was like. I'm sure that wasn't the easiest way to go about it. And maybe you can just give us the background on how Chomps came to be probably one of the larger natural jerkies in the country. I think the fastest growing probably. So please fill us in on that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this was a side hustle, so we started it. Rashid and I both were working full-time jobs. He was an operations consultant and I was in the real estate business. And, I always had this idea and I wanted to run with it, but it was like, I don't know, time's not right. It was a good job that I had, and I wasn't in love with real estate, and that was the one thing. And one thing I really hated about it was I felt like I was working myself out of a job. You would work on a big deal for a period of time, and once you close the deal, you have nothing the next day. It's not like you're really building anything. So I was looking for something with some residual income and something I could build over time. And I loved the space, and I really wanted to get into the food business, and that's where it came from. So I ponied up $3,250, and so did Rashid. So with $6,500 and this idea in mind, we went out and started the company. So I had to teach myself how to build a website, taught myself how to do a really crappy packaging design, and then we got some samples made with our co-packer, and we did some R&D work and figured out, like, we actually started with 2 SKUs originally, and just hit the market. We launched our website, started putting up some Facebook ads, and proved out the concept really quickly. And then we realized, this was something that actually has serious potential and has legs. And I very quickly went full time, where she was kind of working his full-time job still. And we just hit the ground running. So it was, and we didn't rely on any outside capital. We just kept selling the product and built up, kept reinvesting the profits into building the business. And that's the way we've always done it. We don't rely on outside capital, and we prefer it that way. So for us, it allows us to make pretty big decisions that I think a lot of investors, if we had investors on the cap table, they would not allow us to do. One of those things is the hand inspections that we do for every single stick that we manufacture. So we still do that to this day. I mean, it doesn't matter if when we started out, we were making a couple hundred sticks a month. Now we make millions of sticks in a month, and every month, we hand inspect every single one. So we've just scaled that process. It's very expensive, but we truly believe that that's why we're one of the fastest, if not the fastest, meat snacks, natural meat snacks brand in the country right now. It's all about that experience, and we're a premium product. We get it. It's not cheap, but the ingredients are not cheap. And we want to make sure the customers are having the best possible experience.
That's amazing. Was there any time over the process where you felt like, from start to where you are now, that this thing might not work out? Like, just kind of that end of the road thinking that maybe happened for a couple days and you got over it. Was there any of that happened?
Yeah. So of course, there's always these highs and lows with this business, and for us, it's always been all on the line. Even to today. I mean, it's just the way we work. Because we're not relying on outside capital. It's Rashid and I. We have to guarantee every loan that we get. We have all of our employees. I mean, if things don't work out, like this year was a scary year for everybody, and especially Q2 of this year, it was brutal. And so that was a period of time where we didn't quite know where things were going, because if it kept going at the rate it was for end of March, early April where retail was basically done and gone. What do you do with that?
Yeah.
Luckily for us, we have this omni-channel approach. We had a really strong e-commerce business, and we were able to just pivot. That e-commerce business was up. It's still up because of COVID, but retail really took a hit, and it just didn't close the gap. So we took a hit this year or last year. I'm sorry, I forgot we're out of the year finally, but
Yeah.
but yeah, man, it wasn't fun and it was scary, and we didn't quite know where it would go. And luckily, we had such an amazing team. Our team is phenomenal, and they were able to pivot. We were able to cut budgets where we didn't need to spend to keep the business afloat, and we got through it. And we got out stronger than actually before we went in, which is amazing.
That's awesome. And just for people watching, there are very few food product brands that have made it to where Chomps has made it without some serious financial backing. So that's huge kudos to you. I mean, that's how you grind your way up. And we're also not financially backed. We've been kind of putting our own money in as we go, and maybe it's limited our growth a little bit, but it's kept things aligned within our company, and we can make decisions that we believe in, which is really, really cool. So Pete, that's awesome. I think we'll wrap it up there. I just want to say, if anybody wants to try Chomps who hasn't yet, we're going to post the boxes that Chomps is in below. They're in a fair amount of our boxes. Awesome product. We love working with your brand, and as you have new innovation, we'd love to see it. And we appreciate it, man.
You'll be the first to know. We love working with you guys. You guys are killing it. You guys have grown substantially since we first started working together, and we're all about it. Lonny James, baby.
There we go, Pete. Have a great Friday, and enjoy your